Quick turnarounds for both Charlotte Independence and Pittsburgh Riverhounds as they face off tonight at the Sportsplex at Matthews in North Carolina. We'll come into commentary of tonight's USL Championship match. Chris Whittingham alongside the former Manchester United goalkeeper Gary Bailey. And Gary, we want to talk about how both of these teams are on by far their best form of the season. First, Charlotte making the change in manager, and after one win from their first 13 matches, on song under Mike Jeffries.
Certainly with him, 4 games played, 2 wins and 2 draws. Absolutely brilliant. How about this Nicky Jackson goal? A lovely ball in from Enzo, and that was the last match, the equalizer against North Carolina.
Yeah, and it's a nice flick on there from Enzo Martinez, as you mentioned, in Charlotte. Unbeaten in their last 5, including 2 victories, getting the point in midweek against North Carolina FC. And now Pittsburgh Riverhounds unbeaten in their last 5 as well, but a few more victories, 4 wins from 4 in their last 4 matches.
That's a brilliant run, and there's victories that have come with goals like that. How about this from Forbes? Absolutely brilliant from a set-piece situation, and that gave them a victory against Bethlehem, and they ran right against Birmingham Legion with a whole bunch of goals. And you're quite right, 4 wins in 4 has been fantastic form for them.
And you saw as well on the screen a few right hammerings as well. We have a 5-0 in the middle of that. This is a 4-1 at the High Point Stadium, and these two teams playing well at the moment coming in.
Yeah, more so Pittsburgh, 4 wins out of 4. You're getting a lot of points. Charlotte, maybe a couple too many draws in there, but certainly an uptick with Mike Jeffries, and I think their fans expecting that they will continue playing well and get themselves into that top 10 and into a playoff position very soon.
Currently sitting in 12th. Pittsburgh, though, in those playoff places with these 4 victories after 1 too many draws to start the year. When we return, it'll be Charlotte Independence hosting Pittsburgh Riverhounds. These two teams played on the 4th of July. We await some fireworks tonight at the Sportsplex when we return.
My card.
Misplace your debit card? Turn it off with your app.
Excuse me, my card.
This one's gotta be yours, right?
Yes.
And turn it on when you find it.
These are the hands of Novant Health. The hands saving lives. Taking control when it matters most. These are the hands advancing care. They're skillful, precise, and compassionate.
It's gonna be okay from here.
They're the hands giving you strength. Those same hands delivering specialized care also take the time to hold yours. And they'll be waving goodbye as you walk out of our doors and back to your life. These are the hands of Novant Health, the hands making healthcare remarkable.
Thanks. It's like a smart thing. What's the weather?
Sunny. Perfect chicken eating weather.
How'd you get in here?
It's time for chicken.
What's the traffic like?
Rerouting you to chicken.
Okay.
Hey, Calzo, order pizza.
Ordering chicken.
No, pizza.
Chicken.
Okay, chicken it is.
Chick-fil-A nuggets make dinner delightful.
Now that's smart.
Live scenes from the Sportsplex at Matthews as Charlotte Independence take on Pittsburgh Riverhounds tonight in USL Championship action. Our match-day referee is Sergei Demenchik, and he'll be in charge of these two teams starting first with Charlotte Independence, who only make the one change from their match on Thursday night against North Carolina FC.
Yes, just Valentin Sabella coming in for Dominic Duro. Otherwise, it's Jackson up front and Enzo Martinez just behind him, pulling all the strings, and then 4 across the middle and 4 across the back with Miller in goals.
Valentin Sabella, part of the coolest story in soccer this year, the Florida Soccer Soldiers. More on that in a moment. But Pittsburgh, they also played on Thursday night at home, and they elect to go for full squad rotation, 8 changes.
Yeah, you know what? It's easier to deal with those who remain, but let's just pick out some of the changes. Austin Pack comes in goal for Carl Morton. That's always important when you change your goalkeeper. Mark Forrest has his first start for the club after 3 subs, in for Steven Dos Santos. And the top scorer, Nico Brett, is in for Christian Valeski. But a whole bunch of changes everywhere. So the coach, Bob Lilly, taking a few chances making that changes. Obviously, he believes in his squad rotation.
And Mike Jeffries see an opportunity as those were the starting lineups presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Do you think that Mike Jeffries will look at a fully changed team? Do you think Charlotte as a team will look at the team sheet and go, there's a chance tonight? They're making a ton of changes.
Yeah, I would certainly look at it and say, well, it might take Pittsburgh a little while to get themselves reacquainted and figure out who's playing exactly where. So if you come out quickly, if you're Charlotte and you come at Pittsburgh, put them under a bit of pressure, you might get some joy in those first 10 or 15 minutes while the Pittsburgh team are sort of settling in.
And Pittsburgh only keeping 3 players from the team that beat Bethlehem Steel by a 1-0 on Thursday night. Thomas Van Keijzeel and Joseph Greenspan, part of that back 3. And Kennardo Forbes, who scored the goal, and what a goal it was on Thursday night from a free kick. It was the game's only goal in the victory over Bethlehem Steel. It will be Pittsburgh who will get us started. They wear the yellow and black. Charlotte in the all blue this evening, as it is indeed Pittsburgh Riverhounds who get us going, looking for their 5th win in a row as they pay a visit to Charlotte Independence. Both these teams have football with fireworks for their 4th of July on Thursday night. Charlotte, a quick visit to North Carolina FC in a local derby. Nicky Jackson's goal allowing the Jacks to earn the point on the night. Pittsburgh Riverhounds won again, a 4th on the bounce on the 4th with a 1-0 victory against Bethlehem Steel. They've outscored opponents 13-1 in their best patch of the year, but Charlotte looking to slow down that run tonight as straight away we have a foul on the ball.
I think it's a case of just gathering a bit of wind back in the stomach. And you're talking about Pittsburgh, 4 straight wins means they're in fantastic form. But with 8 changes tonight, that could be put to the test. But look here, sort of takes it just sort of high up in the chest and knocks the wind out. If you're down, you go while you're sucking up the air. But Martinez is good. Up he gets again.
It is Alex Martinez who takes the shot to the chest. Frankie will take the throw in.
For the Charlotte Independence.
Bit of injury. It's taken down by Anthony Velarde. Throw into the penalty area, cut up by Kevon George, who returns from international duty with the Gold Cup, the Trinidad and Tobago national side. 46 caps in total for TNT as Charlotte back on the ball through Enzo Martinez. And I'll spray it out to this right-hand side for Joel Johnson. Part of that back 4 tonight, playing it off with Hugh Roberts. Next to Steven Tico and Abdoulaye Mansali at left back. Brandon Miller in goal for Charlotte. A midfield 4 of Alex Martinez, Afram Taku, Kevon George, and Valentin Sabella. And up top, Nicky Jackson and Enzo Martinez coming against Bob Lilly's 3-5-2.
Well, you mentioned Pittsburgh and 4 wins in the last 4. What great form they're in. But let's have a look at Charlotte as well. Since Mike Jeffries moved back in charge of the team, 4 games in charge and 2 wins, 2 draws. So the team in blue are feeling reasonably confident as well about their ability. And that's why we get 2 good teams in form. I'm looking forward to a cracking match here today.
You do see Pittsburgh like to pack numbers forward. They can also win these aerial duels, so the ball will come nicely here for Nicky Jackson, charging on his way, heading towards that penalty area. The left-footed strike coming off the defender, and will settle for Martinez. And then Sally. Martinez again. Nice ball there into the path of Enzo Martinez. His effort again blocked. The brothers Martinez combining there. Back in midfield by George, a free kick ordered by matchday referee Demenchik.
The pitch there, a lot of scuff marks everywhere. You get a closer look there. Might not be easy to pass the ball on. It's not the best pitch we've seen this season, to be honest. A bit of a test for both players as they try and play on the ground.
Doing so very well there. Sabella among those combining. And now they're away into the penalty area. Charlotte Independence coming through. Jackson scored a midweek, but denied there by Austin Pack.
What a brilliant move that was, as you were describing it. It was pass all the way through until Jackson got his chance. And in the end, it's got to be a decent save from Austin Pack, to be fair. But a wonderful passage of play for Charlotte.
Valentin Sabella among those getting involved there with his first start for Charlotte Independence since moving from Florida Soccer Soldiers, UPSL club that entered the U.S. Open Cup, got through in the first round, and then were away, beating Charlotte Independence on their way, and thus Mike Jeffries giving him a call, going, hey, do you want to play professional football? And Sabella jumping at the opportunity, the 19-year-old, now getting his first start in that right-hand side.
It's a good age as well. At 19, he's got a chance to learn a bit more about the professional game with a bunch of much older players in this Charlotte Independent squad.
Jackson trying to keep it in play there, but could not manage to. It will be a throw-in for Pittsburgh.
Just have a look at this passing here. There's one there, it comes back again, it gets played through, it gets played again, it gets played forward. I mean, this is brilliant. Brilliant. And eventually, I mean, it's a decent save from Austin Pack. He's going to his right. He puts out his left leg to make the save. And in many senses, it's a pity Jackson didn't score, because that would have been one of the goals of the week, if not the month.
Alfred Taku among those involved in the buildup as well, is now Noah Frankie coming back here for Pittsburgh Riverhounds, but his layoff cut out well there by Martinez. Sabella was allowing it to run there, but charging in to win it, Ryan James. And Charlotte doing very well to get stuck in midfield areas and win the ball back. Sabella now going to try and slide it through towards Jackson, but quite on the same wavelength. I think Enzo Martinez wanted the ball to feet. For Pittsburgh, a three-man back line of Thomas Van Keaziel, Joseph Greenspan, and Chena Uzu. Midfield 5. You want to call it 5-3-2 or 3-5-2. Noah Frankie and Ryan James are your wingbacks. Anthony Velarde and Leonardo Forbes. And Robbie Mertz are in central midfield. Mark Forrest and Nico Brett lead the line. And Mark Forrest making his first start of the year. As will again come for Sabella on this right-hand side. Tries to hit the cross, left-footed towards Jackson. Pack off his line. Well done there by the goalkeeper to catch.
Well taken in that bright sort of pinky outfit of his, but he stands out, and if he keeps catching balls like that, he'll stand out in more ways than one. Well taken by the goalkeeper. And with a decent save from Jackson in the first few minutes, he's got to be happy with his start to this game.
You see as the sun sets here on the Sportsplex. Could be difficult at times to track aerial balls. Joel Johnson putting his hands to his eyes there for a moment.
Just looking at the Charlotte side, and there's not too many top goal scorers in it, only a handful. Nicky Jackson's got 2, Enzo's got 1, Kavan George has got 1, and Hugh Roberts. That's it from the entire team that's playing here. Obviously no Herrera, no Oduro, they're on the bench. So it's going to be a test for this Charlotte team to score goals.
Probably need a few more of those passing moves that we saw in that lovely chance that came for Nicky Jackson.
Wonderful passing move, actually. Let's say, if you're a neutral, it's a pity it wasn't a goal, because you'd love to see that over and over again in the top goals package. Or if you're neutral, or if you're a Charlotte fan.
Of course.
To add that.
Probably would have seen that goal for years to come had it been finished off there by Nicky Jackson. He did take incredibly well on Thursday night for Charlotte's lone goal in their 1-1 draw with North Carolina FC. Some frustrations from the manager, Mike Jeffries, of how they conceded. It was just sort of a loose ball that was high and on the line, and the defenders and goalkeeper couldn't get it sorted, and Yamakani Chester poking in for North Carolina.
It was a scrappy goal to concede, but Enzo's pass for that Nicky Jackson goal, the equalizer, was a lovely pass, and once again looking forward to seeing what Enzo can do in this match. His creativity, his ability to see opportunities is going to be massive in getting Charlotte a win here today.
Kevon George trying to sting it through. He's eventually win the second ball in his second season with the club. Miscommunication there with Martinez and Taku in midfield, but Charlotte keeping it. Pittsburgh obviously do like to score goals, but also have no problems defending. Just keep clean sheets for fun as it comes towards that left-hand side. Nice leave there from Martinez. Now Joel Johnson coming on his way. We'll play it for Martinez. Wants the defender to come to him. Now trying to get around him. Lovely work there from Martinez trying to get around Mark Forrest. You see, he's a big unit. Sabella. Martinez heading it straight towards Uzo. Well, it's a poor touch there. An opportunity on here for Martinez, and it's a free kick as well, as the tug of the shirt came after the giveaway from Anthony Velarde. And it will be a free kick for Charlotte in a fairly dangerous area.
It is a fairly dangerous area, and Velarde got a little word from the referee who said, be careful next time, probably end up in the book. Have a look at it. Ball gets played to him very, very quickly from Robbie Merton. He doesn't quite control it and then has to pull and tug. You're right, it's right on the edge of the box. We said early on that with 8 changes, you might find a few little moments of uncertainty in the Pittsburgh Riverhounds team until they settle down. Well, maybe that was one of those moments, and let's see if Charlotte can take advantage of it.
Now, free kick for Charlotte. Enzo Martinez over the ball. You have Alex Martinez with him as well. Looks like Anduli Mansali as well. It'll be Mansali to take, and Austin Pack moved his right hand to it, but just allowed it to nestle on the top of the net.
It's a decent effort, just over the crossbar. The keeper, I think, had it covered most of the way. It's a side foot shot, so it doesn't quite have the same pace. Yeah, goalkeeper's got that covered, but it was a decent effort there by Charlotte. Once again, not too many natural goal scorers in the team. And I always think when you have a free kick like that, I'd rather see them hit the target and make the goalkeeper do something as opposed to sticking it over the crossbar.
KSL hitting it long and out for a Charlotte throw-in. As we can't tell, you can get all the latest Independence gear now at shop.charlotteindependence.com.
We've talked a little bit about Charlotte and what they're trying to do, and maybe the lack of goal scorers. I think we need to talk about Pittsburgh as well, because with 8 changes, this is a big challenge, but they've been a tough team to beat, hardly conceding, as you said.
Plenty of space on this left-hand side for Ryan James, who will get turned.
And he only lost twice this season. I think conceded 16 and 15 matches. That's literally a goal a game. They're a very tough team to break down, Pittsburgh.
Now James, around one defender, trying to hit the cross around Joel Johnson. Instead, hit it straight into him. And now Joel Johnson can play out for Charlotte. Over 100 appearances in USL for Charlotte Independence in his 4th season. And his clearance coming off a yellow and black shirt, and out for the throw-in. Yellow and black, very much the color scheme associated with sporting teams in the Pittsburgh area. And the Riverhounds, no exception. Mansali. Decade in MLS, 3 different clubs, over 150 appearances.
A whole bunch of caps for Gambia as well, so he's played at top international level.
16 caps for the African nation. Hugh Roberts. You see they will keep it at the back end. This is something that Mike Jeffries was telling us about, how he did want to see his team play a bit more to the identity that the club had been building over the previous 4 years, that they might have just lost a bit under previous management. They do like to keep the ball and hang on to possession and try and attack that way.
Well, if that's been your identity and a coach comes along and tries to change it, then it does make sense initially to get back to it. John McGuinness fired after that 4-1 loss to Ottawa, only 3 months in the job. And so Mike Jeffries getting back to what the players know and probably feel most comfortable with. And all he has to do is get himself into the playoffs, start improving the form, and who knows what happens from there. But Again, my question is, where are the goal scorers in this team other than Nicky Jackson? We've only got 2 in 10. There's not any other goal scorers, and to break down a very good Pittsburgh team who give you absolutely nothing. That's the big test here for Charlotte today.
Ten goals on the bench in the form of Oduro 6 and Jorge Herrera's 4. Sabella. Kevon George. He shouts, or hears shouts. Won the ball from Kevon George as it's lofted. It's a good ball in towards that right-hand side. Sabella trying to chest it down. It was really neither for Jackson nor Martinez. Frankie.
Difference here with Charlotte, they're pressing high, whereas Pittsburgh didn't. Now you can see the blue shirts pressing, trying to, what, 5, 6 players in the half. Trying to see if they can get turnover ball, if they can nick it off Pittsburgh in a dangerous area not far from Pittsburgh's goal. The question is, can Pittsburgh play out of it? And so far they've managed to.
It's a lovely ball slid into the path of Nico Brett, but just a bit overcooked, who was offside anyway, Nico Brett. Velarde trying to slide it through from his central midfield area. And Brett unable to time his run.
You can hear a shout saying you've got to find the ball earlier, that maybe it should be placed into the space for Nico Brett to run onto. That could be what the coaching staff is saying. It's difficult because when you're on the ball, you have to obviously keep control of it, keep it away from those who want to take it from you, and lift your head and read the runs of the striker. But that's what good midfielders are capable of doing. And certainly we see Enzo on the other side who can produce that sort of quality.
George and Johnson interchanging on that right-hand side has now come here for Enzo Martinez. It's a good ball into the channel. Sabella trying to run onto it, sliding, and it does come off of Ryan James last. It will be a corner for Charlotte Independence.
Well done, Sabella. Good effort down that right-hand side. What a wonderful story that he should play in the team in Miami Beach. What was it called? Florida
Soccer Soldiers.
Florida Soccer Soldiers. That's out of North Miami Beach, if
yes,
I'm not
indeed.
mistaken. And have an incredible US Open Cup run and then end up getting a professional contract. Those are sort of fairy stories you don't hear of too often.
Does go to show what the Open Cup offers for players of all levels, as Mansally will take the corner. 5 to aim at. It's delivered towards that back post, cutting out Velarde. Joel Johnson trying to win that second ball, but Pittsburgh come onto it. Nico Brett just trying to get it forward. It'll find Kenardo Forbes with that long ball. The Jamaican. All USL second team a year ago. Forbes with 4 goals and 8 assists, and was actually on top of his USL career also playing in the Major Arena Soccer League. On the side and off season, still has to play his indoor, but gave it up a year ago to a tremendous season in the USL Championship. These two teams have met 10 times, and Pittsburgh has never won.
No, 10 times.
10 times. Charlotte have won 5, and there have been 5 draws, including a 0-0 earlier this year at the Highmark Stadium.
Well, Pittsburgh fans probably couldn't pick a better time. 4 wins back-to-back. And their team's on fire at the moment, although there have been a number of changes, but they can bring players off the bench if necessary. And that must be one of those little locker room stats you bring out as a coach to fire the team up. Never 1 in 10. Well, today's your day. Go out there and win it.
Here are the continued instructions from Bob Lilly, a manager in USL, has had real success. Won the league with Rochester. And a year ago, as the heavy long ball aerial do there with duel between James and Johnson. He'll come out for a throw-in for Pittsburgh, but Lilly, a year ago, taking over this Pittsburgh club and has done very well, particularly keeping them defensively solid over the course of the 2 years, year and a half. Kept them under a goal per game conceded. Come here on this right-hand side to Noah Frankie. McKaysel. We can tell you that Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the finest leagues in the world since 1947. Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. Another throw-in for Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
And Coach Bob Lilly was telling us when we chatted to him a couple of days ago that this improved form came about 8 or 9 games ago. They said there's been sharper focus on details, and that's why the performances have got better. And specifically after the Atlanta game, he said the confidence seeped in.
And why not? It was a 5-0 victory.
If you can't get confident after that, when can you get confident? But that's what the coach has got to keep working for. And he said it's with sharper focus on details. It's preparing, you know, that extra bit of preparation makes players feel that they've done the best they can do, that they're aware of the opposition. That can translate into extra confidence. Just checking here and hoping that nothing wrong with Nicky Jackson. Took a bit of a knock.
Braithman's coffee, now that is good coffee.
And Jackson scored his second goal of the year. Is on loan from Colorado Rapids in Major League Soccer.
Well, we're going to break just to add something else that Bob Lilly said. He said the 3 players that he thought were the most dangerous was Enzo, one of the better players in the league. He described him as Herrera for his movement and experience and Aduro's pace. Well, 2 of those 3 aren't playing at this moment in time, so I'm sure when Bob Lilly saw that team sheet, he was a little bit relieved.
And also saying we got to focus on Enzo Martinez. He is the provider of 6 assists on the year in USL. On 20 career assists in his second stint with the club. Moved to Colorado Rapids a year ago as part of tremendous performances. And Sally will send a ball in with pace into the penalty area, and an early foul before the header could even be won by Joe Greenspan at the back. And it was the center back Hugh Roberts who caught a bit too much of Greenspan.
Yeah, whenever bodies go down in the box, inevitably the referee will side with the defenders. Difficult to see what happened there. It's always worth a try. Get the ball in the box, fight around, see if anything drops. Try and smash it in the back of the net. Might not be what the purists like, but if it gets you the goal that puts you ahead, then you take it.
Flick on there from Jackson, but couldn't quite find Sabella. Now George. Nice idea first time there from Jackson, but it's a tackle behind the play on Kevon George that earns Charlotte Independence the free kick.
Just looking at the opening 20-odd minutes, that's a little passing movement early on in the game which resulted in a Jackson shot, which maybe in retrospect he should have done better with, even though Austin Pack made a good save. But what a wonderful move it was, and that's probably been the highlight of the first 20 or so minutes. Beautiful passing, about 6 or 7 passes. Jackson gets his chance one-on-one. Maybe if he looks at that, he'll probably like that chance again and chip it over the keeper, but give the keeper credit for a decent save.
Nice first touch there from Sabella, now threatening here. The first time delivery, oh, it's a tremendous chip! Alex Martinez catching Austin Pack out. Fantastic.
I'm just wondering if he meant that. I'd like to see it again if he did. It's great vision and great ability. I just don't know if he was trying a different type of shot or a pass, and let's have a look at it again and see exactly what happens. Ball gets knocked wide. It's going to come in here and gets laid back. You know what? He meant that. He actually picked that spot. He knew the keeper was off his line, and there you go. He goes to clip it up, and he executes it absolutely brilliantly. What a fantastic goal there from Alex Martinez. His first of the season. Yeah, a hard sign. He's first in 15 appearances, and what a fantastic goal it was as well. And some nice little interplay, including Sabella there as part of the build-up. But that's all down to Alex Martinez, and a wonderful chip.
In the moment, you're right, it did look like a shot that took a deflection or just had an awkward trajectory, but it's effective. It gives Charlotte the 1-0 lead.
Another wonderful passing move. I was just busy describing how the best highlight had been a previous, much earlier passing move that Jackson had a one-on-one. And there again, Charlotte able to play between the players, lay things up on the edge of the box, all good passing movements. And it goes back to what you said earlier about Mike Jeffries wanting to get back to the identity of Charlotte Independence, which was a passing team. And we've seen that twice in this first half. One resulted in a goal and one in a Jackson fantastic opportunity, which the keeper saved.
First time ball out to that right-hand side. Van Kayazil has come forward. Rolling back here by Charlotte. Jackson. Your continued shouting there from Bob Lilly, giving his team's instructions. Pittsburgh have not been behind for some time during this 4-match winning run. They've only conceded the 1 goal, and it was when they were already 4-0 up against Birmingham Legion. So this is fairly unfamiliar territory of late for Bob Lilly's men.
Sometimes coaches don't mind. I mean, obviously they mind at the moment, but overall they're thinking, well, okay, let's test you and see what it's like when you go behind. Let me see what character I have in the team. So while he won't want the team to be behind as that ball's played aimlessly forward, he's still looking at his players and saying, who's going to fight back for me? Who's going to lead the charge? And of course, he has a couple of very experienced players on the bench that ultimately can bring on second half if he needs to, in Herrera and Aduro.
Pressure now on Ozu, and now pressure's really arrived in the form of Enzo Martinez, and Ozu turning around and playing out. A bit dangerous there from the Nigerian to allow it to run. We are expecting a hydration break on the half-hour mark as Enzo Martinez had drifted offside. Currently at the ground feeling like 93 degrees on a hot summer's night.
It's good to see them have these hydration breaks. There's a lot of pressure on the players, a lot of energy used and sweat produced, and just for the health of the players, it's good they get that chance to hydrate. But that hasn't happened as yet. Hopefully it happens soon.
Kevon George. Joel Johnson now sending the ball long. It's up towards Nicky Jackson, but he had drifted offside. Nicky Jackson unable to time his run there. Does look like a surprising number of vulnerabilities in this Pittsburgh squad. This is not what we're used to seeing, particularly from a defensive point of view.
And with 8 changes, it's a lot of changes, a lot of players who have to sort of acquaint themselves with each other. You all get specific abilities. You know, are you good on the ball, good in the air? Are you more right-footed, left-footed? And these things you figure out when you play constantly with each other. So for Bob Lilly, a very, very brave move to make that many changes and to rotate his team. Maybe he felt with 4 wins back-to-back that they were in a position where he could do that. They would have the confidence to not worry too much. And he does have some firepower on the bench. But there's a lot of changes to make, though.
Hugh Roberts. Enzo Martinez trying to take the touch around the defender, Van Kayazil, who fouled him in the process. Free kick short for Joel Johnson. Stephen Tico playing it with his central defensive partner, Roberts, and now appeals for an indirect free kick as Nico Brett thought it was played back by Roberts.
That was risky.
Applies the pressure.
That was risky from you, Roberts, wasn't it? He was nearly dispossessed, just got it away, and just enough weight on it to reach the keeper. You've got to be super careful there at the back, not to lose possession entirely and give away a good opportunity.
Martinez gonna have a crack. Noah's going high wide of target. Enzo Martinez snatching at the half chance there.
He's seen his brother chip the goalkeeper from there and thought, well, if you can do it, let me show you if I can do it. The idea is good. There's no question that Alex Martinez was a fantastic goal and great awareness as they do come off of this hydration break. Fantastic chip of the goalkeeper. He was leaning backwards and goes for the chip. There was no deflection and ends up in the back of the net. Absolutely brilliant.
And Mike Jeffries would be pleased with the performance from his side of hardly giving away a chance in this opening half hour and get the goal through Alex Martinez, which currently has them in front.
Yep, they had a second chance as well, which Jackson has mentioned will probably feel as if he'd like to take that again and chip the goalkeeper, Austin Pack. So they possibly should be 2-0 up, Charlotte, but I'm sure they're delighted to be 1-0 up at least at home. As we mentioned, this is a Pittsburgh side that are very difficult to break down.
Very much indeed. The last four have only given up one goal, and now that equaled tonight in the opening half hour as Charlotte Independence lead by 1-0. Alex Martinez with the goal. We've seen some decent build-up play from Charlotte in this match. There was that one particular passage down that right-hand side that led to a chance for Nicky Jackson that ultimately resulted in a decent opportunity, but a great save from Austin Pack.
It was a wonderful move. It was about 5, 6, maybe 7 passes. Good passes, all at the right way to the right people, and I think that's the way Charlotte have to play. They don't have big players. I mean, Nicky Jackson's not small, but you know, Enzo's not that big, Sabella's not that big, so you can't go, you know, floating high balls in the box and hoping to get on the end of it. You have to play to feet if you're Charlotte. I guess Bob Lively is saying what he feels the way Pittsburgh should play. He's giving them a good old lecture at the moment.
Some work to do for Bob Lively. More on that in a moment, but first, Charlotte Independence's next home game. Great seats still available coming up. Purchase your tickets now at charlotteindependence.com. They take on St. Louis next weekend. Saturday here at the Sportsplex at Matthews. And it is interesting, these hydration breaks could almost serve as a halftime team talk, but coming 15 minutes earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good chance for the coaches to have a word, have a say, especially if they see something that needs a tactical change. They can get a chance to explain it to the players. And you can see Forbes there having a further discussion with Brett. So maybe they're just outlining how they're going to take the manager's advice and put it into action.
Containing 4 sideline game tickets, a complimentary parking pass, one of a kind, or
There will be a goal kick for Austin Pack, and Bob Lilly now looking for the response. It's interesting, and we'll talk about it as if it were halftime. 2.5 minute stoppage for a hot summer's night. Joel Johnson. Well done there by Enzo Martinez, charging on his way. Leaving it with Sabella. Now Afrin Taku. Close together there, Sabella and Martinez, but he does manage outside of the boot to get it towards Mansali. Now running to do for Martinez. Van Kayazil will just try and play it up the line. Enough. Martinez last for the throw-in. These teams just either side of the playoff line by number of points, or by place in the standings, but Pittsburgh 8 points clear and with 3 games in hand compared to Charlotte Independence.
Crucial for Charlotte to start getting on a winning run. As we mentioned earlier on, the draws just aren't quite good enough. Yes, you're not getting beaten, but you need to rack up the 3 points and make sure that you're way ahead of that 10 spot as we look at Bob Lilly just shouting out the orders. You'd only be sitting in 9th coming in towards the end of the season because you could just get knocked off the playoff place. You want to be well within that top 10. And of course, the higher up, the more home games you're likely to get. So work to be done for Charlotte. And as you say, Pittsburgh do have the games in hand should they need them.
And a massive opportunity as well for Charlotte next weekend in that St. Louis match. St. Louis right now just above the playoff line. So that, at the moment, would feel like a mid-season 6-pointer.
Yep. As a manager, I'd much rather be obviously way inside that top 10 because you do not want to be chasing it and looking at the last few matches of the season as must-wins and difficult games and everyone's playing to get in that top 10. You want to be comfortably in, ready and to prepare for the playoffs and not scrambling to get in. I think I'm stating the obvious. The managers are aware of that. The players are as well. It's just a lot easier to make it, a lot more difficult to make it happen. But certainly for both Charlotte and Pittsburgh fans, both their teams are in decent form and you would think they would make the playoffs.
Ball well slid towards Forrest, whose low ball through gets cut out by Hugh Roberts. Nico Brett threatening, and now a corner for Pittsburgh.
That's better from Pittsburgh. We haven't seen them create too much down the flanks, and we haven't seen them win too many set pieces around the box. So this is probably what their manager was asking for.
It's not a corner, but rather a throw-in. Now laid off here from Mertz. Robbie Mertz in the penalty area trying to have a hit. And it will be another throw-in.
Good pressure. And there's big boys in that box for Pittsburgh, so any quickly whipped-in cross could cause all sorts of problems for Charlotte.
Frankie trying to hit the cross again, and it's another throw-in. Deep in that Charlotte half, and it's a poor touch there from Noah Frankie. Or rather from Robbie Mertz. And it will be a throw-in for Charlotte Independence. Lead by that Alex Martinez, goal to nil. It's on the ball there. Turning for Mansally, but Pittsburgh applying the pressure there. And it's a high boot. And I believe that's against Kevon George. I thought for a moment it was going to be against Forrest. And the brothers Martinez having a go at Sergei Domenchik for that decision. It's a free kick in a dangerous area.
It isn't a dangerous area, and players do what players do, which is argue with the referee no matter what. Maybe they have a case, maybe they don't, but either way, there's always an argument. Let's have a look here and see what we can pick up from it. Well, probably saying that both players raised their boot. Have a look. Or I think possibly Kevon George's boot was up earlier and therefore deemed to be the slightly more dangerous.
Here's a delivery from Forbes. Header towards that back post. And it came for Van Kayazil, but didn't know much about it, and it goes high and wide of target.
Just wondering if Van Kayazil had expected that to come through. It came through very, very quickly, and everybody else sort of missed it here. Have a look. Maybe there was a touch there. I think that's what it is. The touch has maybe put him off slightly, but he's got himself a clear header at the back. Just didn't quite have time to readjust to the deflection on the way to him. But it just shows you Pittsburgh, with balls around the box, they have enough good headers of the ball in the box to cause Charlotte all sorts of problems from set pieces.
Chico?
You gotta be able to challenge the first ball. You gotta get the ball before you go forward.
I imagine we'll have a front row seat to the Bob Lilly show for the remainder of this match.
I'll tell you something. When the crowd isn't big, as a player, and you hear everything the coach says, you can't hide. And the worst thing you want to do is be playing in front of the coach. When you're on the other side of the pitch, you're far away. But when you're on this near side, the coach picks on you every time. And it's, oh, it's going to be a tough afternoon for all those playing on the left-hand side, or well, I should say the right-hand side of Pittsburgh Riverhounds, because they're right in front of the coach. And you can see a few of them there. We're going to get the manager's comments for the entirety of this half.
Clear by Mansally. It'll be a throw-in for Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
Yeah. Van Keezel, he's one of them who's gonna have his ear bent the whole of the first half. Noah Frankie's another on that right side.
Yeah. Oh, it doesn't seem like Bob Lilly is short for voice.
And I'm sure it's fantastic advice he's given. I'm just saying, as a player, sometimes you you want to just get on with the game, but his advice is good, and if it helps him play better, then obviously you as a player, you do welcome it.
Bit awkward there. Now, casual as Johnson lays it off for Brandon Miller, who hasn't had too much to do in goal tonight for Charlotte. And it would be among the frustrations for Bob Lilly that hardly tested that defense at all.
Yep, they haven't. And I think as a manager, you count the number of times the opposition goalkeeper has to really work. Not poor shots from 40 yards, but proper efforts. And so far, it's been Austin Pack who's been by far the busier of the two keepers.
Tommy, get your seat!
Lofted in towards Forrest, trying to work through multiple defenders. Another free kick awarded on the edge of the penalty area. Coming together, Joel Johnson among those involved, and Mark Forrest doing well to earn the free kick for Pittsburgh.
You be careful, Joel Johnson. You can't keep giving free kicks away. We mentioned a few minutes ago how good Pittsburgh can be on set pieces with the big players they've got. It was well played by Mark Forrest. He knew what he was trying to do and went down when he felt the nudge. And now Charlotte had to defend another dangerous free kick. And if you keep doing that, eventually one of them is going to end up going in. So got to limit the number of free kicks that you give away, obviously.
Yeah, James.
And that's something that I'm sure Mike Jeffries is going to have a word with his defenders at half-time.
And it will be a free kick for Bernardo Forbes, who's frustrated. The ball gets moved after he had already set it up. Does have Ryan James next to him. And 5 to aim at in the penalty area. And it will be Forbes hit with pace and always blazing over.
Oh, that's frustrating. If you're a Pittsburgh player in the box there, you've got to make all the effort to get yourself in there, and that ball from Bernardo Forbes doesn't even work the goalkeeper. Never mind miss you, it misses everybody. It's a wasted opportunity, and it's so frustrating for the rest of the team. And that comes from a player who is a very good passer and striker of the ball, so he should be able to produce much better than that.
Miller hitting long, and now Sabella trying to get onto it. James with a header. Mickey Jackson fighting off multiple Pittsburgh Riverhound players. Heavy touch. That's a strong coming together on that left-hand side. Alex Martinez goes clattering into Noah Frankie.
Yeah, let's have a look at it again. There was no malice intended, just a little bit late. He was hoping it would be seen as a shoulder-to-shoulder. Not so. Referee blows it up. And he was probably protesting because he wanted to avoid the yellow card. And sometimes the claims of innocence just stop the referee from, yeah, who me, referee, you know, and it stops the referee from pulling out the card.
Robbie Mertz. Better goal on there by Hugh Roberts. Van Keezel. No real options to play to, and there you said being the right wing back in this first half might not be the best place, and I think Frankie's getting an earful there.
They're probably thinking second half this will be relief when they're on the other side of the pitch. But I mean, the reality is the coach is giving you good advice and trying to help you play better. It's just that sometimes you get blamed for things that aren't really your fault, but just you're the nearest one to the coach, and you just take the blame.
Martinez weaving around multiple defenders, eventually finding Joel Johnson. He draws some applause there for his efforts. Sabella, lovely touch around the defender. James, now Sabella carrying on his way, but the far bigger Uzu getting in the way. The whistle went for a free kick. The shove from Sabella.
Sabella just realizing that it's a step up from where he was playing. As wonderful as the Florida soccer soldiers were, this is a level up, and yes, he beats one, but then you try and beat a second, you get dispossessed. Sometimes beat the one and then pass the ball. but he'll learn. He's only 19. Really special talent from Key Biscayne in Florida.
Gotta be.
And a free kick for Pittsburgh. There's the change goalkeeper, Austin Pack, sending the ball along. Cal Morton has been really well.
Because I shoot the game.
Done really well in that goal for Pittsburgh, racking up the clean sheets of late, 3 and 4, including on Thursday night against Bethlehem Steel. But among those that are changed for this match.
Yep. Always good to have the goalkeepers battling against each other. It keeps performances high. But for Austin Pack, he'll be frustrated that goal has already gone in, because he would want to have kept a clean sheet as well.
And taken short here for Velarde, lofted into the penalty area. The header came in from Sabella, but that second ball couldn't fall kindly for Robbie Mertz. Now Pack coming off his line to keep Pittsburgh in this passage in play. Long towards Mertz, who's now going to try and fight Hugh Roberts off it, and now they might have to be separated, or a sporting rise to the feet from Hugh Roberts there.
The referee just having a little word there, saying you've got to play the ball as you see it over the line. And Hugh Roberts is saying, well, I did what I had to do, and I picked the man up, so what's the problem? It is I mean, seeing the ball over the line is a common thing with defenders, but you can't not play, you can't not be next to the ball. You got to, you know, you can't step aside and then it becomes obstruction. So I think that's possibly what the referee was saying.
And after the hydration break, we'll have 3 minutes to be added on at the end of this first half. James laying it off for Pack, and now Sabella trying to pack the pressure on.
Again, that high press from Charlotte. Look at the blue shirts, making it so difficult for Pittsburgh to play out from the back.
Can't do it the whole match and stay 90 minutes fit, but certainly taking their opportunities, Charlotte, to make life uncomfortable. Bit awkward there for Greenspan at his feet, and Pack getting it clear. Fans, you can follow Charlotte Independence, Pittsburgh Riverhounds, and the rest of the USL Championship all season long on ESPN+, home to the USL, MLS, UFC, and much more. We had the Copa America final on ESPN+ earlier today. Join the over 2 million sports fans who have already discovered ESPN+ and watch the championship live every week. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com. Brazil, the champions of South America, after beating Peru by 3-1.
Good for Brazil. It's been a while since they've been Copa America champions, isn't it? Chile have won the last few.
Since 2007 for Brazil.
Mind you, they were at home, so there's a slight advantage.
We're also at home in the World Cup and lost 7-1 in the semifinal, so not always a guarantee, but
good point.
Good trophy in the bag for Brazil. You saw all the matches on ESPN+. As Martinez trying to take it down. And a high arm there as Enzo Martinez going down there. Robbie Mertz sticking the arm up.
Referee just debating whether that was meant or not. Doesn't look as if he's going to pull out a card. He's going to say that was accidental. Let's have a look here. It's a little bit, it's not a hit, it's more of a hand in the face. Got to be careful though.
There's a hit in there for me.
Yeah,
forearm comes to the face.
Yeah, possibly. Robbie Mertz lucky to get away with that then.
It's also right in front of the referee, so there's no getting away from that. I think referee Dementia, perhaps a bit kind, to not book Robbie Mertz.
As we come to the end of the first half though, 2 outstanding moments in the half, both of them to Charlotte. That lovely passing move early on with a Jackson shot that was well saved by Austin Pack, and then the Alex Martinez goal, which was absolutely brilliant. Chips the goalkeeper from all of about 22 yards, and that has been the 2 special moments from this half, in my opinion.
Delivery towards that near post there from Velarde, but cut out. Going down, Alex Martinez, the goal scorer, and it will be a free kick. Noah Frankie giving away the free kick. That should just about be the last meaningful moment of this first half. We've had a hydration break, a couple of decent chances for Charlotte, and the goal. Miller taking his sweet time over this one. And that is the end of the first half. Alex Martinez's moment of inspiration, the difference between these two sides at the break. Charlotte Independence creating a few chances. It's back to the drawing board for Bob Lilly at halftime. As your score at the break, it's Charlotte Independence 1, Pittsburgh Riverhounds 0.
Yep, as mentioned, it's that team in blue who've had the two best chances and taken one, and goalkeeper saves the other. So it's all up to Pittsburgh. What can they do second half? How do they get themselves back in the game? Look at that chip. Absolutely brilliant from Alex Martinez.
These are the hands of Novant Health. The hands saving lives. Taking control when it matters most. These are the hands advancing care. They're skillful, precise, and compassionate.
It's gonna be okay from here.
They're the hands giving you strength. Those same hands delivering specialized care also take the time to hold yours. And they'll be waving goodbye as you walk out of our doors and back to your life. These are the hands of Novant Health, the hands making healthcare remarkable.
Tarjeta.
¿No encuentras tu tarjeta de débito? Desactívala con tu app.
Disculpa, estoy buscando mi tarjeta.
Esta es la tuya, ¿cierto?
Sí.
Y cuando la encuentres, vuélvela a activar.
Thanks. It's like a smart thing. What's the weather?
Sunny. Perfect chicken eating weather.
How'd you get in here?
It's time for chicken.
What's the traffic like?
Rerouting you to chicken.
Okay.
Hey, Calzo, order pizza.
Ordering chicken.
No, pizza.
Chicken.
Okay, chicken it is.
Chick-fil-A nuggets make dinner delightful.
Now that's smart.
Charlotte Independence leading at the break by a goal to nil. And what a goal it was from Alex Martinez, Chris Whittingham, and Gary Bailey here with commentary of this one. Both of these teams playing on the 4th of July. And it was an interesting pair of matches for the two sides. We'll start first with Charlotte Independence. Here you look, just a little bit of miscommunication at the back between Tico and Miller, and it's Donovan Iwolo there to pounce.
I'm not quite sure what Tico's doing at the back post here. The ball comes up. I think he thinks it's going over, and at the last second he tries to react. That's bad defending. You always assume it's going in. You can't assume it's going over, so they get punished.
And it was Yamakani Chester who provided the finish, not Iwolo who put the cross in. Here's Nicky Jackson's finish.
Oh, lovely left foot here. The ball from Enzo. Have a look at this. Perfectly weighted. And then Jackson gets on the end of it, and he absolutely buries this. Good finish.
More chances coming in this match. Stephen Miller well denied there by Brandon Miller.
Yeah, good goalkeeping there. Great reflexes to keep that one out.
And then the header coming in from the corner. Alex Tampakis there. And here would probably be the chance for Charlotte to get the points, as Nicky Jackson denied there. We saw him denied in a one-on-one opportunity earlier tonight. And here would be a free kick. Well saved there by Brandon Miller. And the spoils shared on the night in Cary, North Carolina. Meanwhile, for Pittsburgh, there's the Highmark Stadium. And those are the benefits offered of having a waterfront stadium. And the chances would get going here with Pittsburgh Riverhounds trying to test the Bethlehem Steel goalkeeper, who are the opponents on the night, flying in there to try and win the header. Toby Adewole, and then Christian Valesky rising as well. Maybe a decent chance here for Ferris for Bethlehem Steel. Well done off his line there, Kyle Morton. Here is the free kick goal, and what a take it is.
That's a great strike from Conrado Forbes. Absolutely brilliant. Keeper just gets a hand to it, but can't keep it out the back of the net. And the power and the pace and the positioning of that free kick, superb.
As here would be the opportunity, Josh Morton doing poorly off the ball, or on the ball, but managing to make the save. And the fireworks allow for Pittsburgh Riverhounds to get the win on the night. By the way, that goal from Bernardo Forbes in the free kick featured on SportsCenter's top 10. And just sort of commemorates what a tremendous goal that was. Charlotte Independence leading at the break over Pittsburgh Riverhounds by goal to nil.
Monarchs go for goal and they find it! Hopial's gone for goal, another deflection off the post and in! Tacoma on top, shot and goal! What a beauty! Justin Dillon moving up the middle, he's going to push that ball wide toward Gonzalez. Gonzalez, a first touch cross back inside for Dillon and a goal! Inside the 18, shot, pushed wide! Loose in front, it's Freda!
And that the look at some of the best from USL through the first half of the campaign. As you take a look at some of the news and notes from around USL, we have a transfer to Europe as Brian Brown heads off to the Albanian Superliga. But Loudoun United having the USL Championship Player of the Week in the form of Christian Sordo. You were on commentary of that match, and what a brace it was.
Oh, it's fantastic. His first goal was just brilliant. He stepped right, left, right, and then hits it before the keeper can get set. Fantastic. And then scores a second, and that was within 30 minutes of coming on as a sub. 2 goals in 30 minutes or less. It was just a brilliant debut by Sordo, and he gets to stand alongside the likes of Asante and Lopez and Pasha and Kasipli. So well done to the young man top left. I think he's 19 years of age, is he? No, maybe slightly older.
And he got the start last night for Loudoun and is featuring, you see also Robbie Mertz in the team of the week in the USL Championship. You wonder if Alex Martinez might work his way into that fold next week after his solo effort tonight. As you have a look at the Player of the Month candidate, Solomon Asante for Phoenix Rising, who have just been on fire a choice. We've seen Tyler Pasher as well, who's shown real quality for Indy 11. Some great choices there for USL Player of the Month.
Yeah, it's difficult to beat Solomon Asante's figures there. 7 goals and 4 assists. Really? I mean, that is an incredible run that he's had with Phoenix Rising, and the team itself have been in great form, but the others are all very good possibilities as well. They've all been in wonderful form, but difficult to knock Asante off.
As you have a look at the standings presented by Wells Fargo, St. Louis just above the playoff line. Charlotte Independence trying to chase them down. Pittsburgh 4 points clear of St. Louis in 10th.
Yeah, Pittsburgh with games in hand. Have a look at that. 15 played, all around them is 17s and 18s. So that's good news for Pittsburgh. They should be able to climb up the table in the next few weeks.
And here's a look at the upcoming schedule. On Wednesday night, Bethlehem Steel taking on New York Red Bulls 2. You can watch that match on ESPN Plus at 7:30, and then a full Eastern Conference fixture list. Charlotte home with St. Louis at 7, as are Pittsburgh Riverhounds. It's a cracking match as they take on Tampa Bay Rowdies, 7 p.m. And in terms of the scores from the rest of this weekend, New York Red Bulls 2 and Ottawa Fury level at 1 after the 90. Louisville City getting a massive 2-1 victory of the champions over Nashville to continue to try and climb up the table. St. Louis still without a win in 8 as they draw 2-2 with Loudoun United. Charlotte Independence looking for 3 points on the night. They have the lead at the break. Your score, Charlotte Independence 1, Pittsburgh Riverhounds 0.
My card.
Misplace your debit card? Turn it off with your app.
Excuse me, my card.
This one's gotta be yours, right?
Yes.
And turn it on when you find it.
I'm feeling great, sleeping well, eating right, body's back where it needs to be.
Rapids on 3, rapids on 3. 1, 2, 3, rapids!
Thanks. It's like a smart thing. What's the weather?
Sunny. Perfect chicken eating weather.
How'd you get in here?
It's time for chicken.
What's the traffic like?
Rerouting you to chicken.
Okay.
Hey, Calzo, order pizza.
Ordering chicken.
No, pizza.
Chicken.
Okay, chicken it is.
Chick-fil-A nuggets make dinner delightful.
Now that's smart.
Charlotte Independence leading at the break by an Alex Martinez goal to nil. Chris Whittingham and Gary Bailey here for commentary of this one, as we can now show you the first half highlights from this match and some of the best chances that these two teams created. It was really Charlotte that were well on top for majority of it. Here is a tremendous passing move. Have a look at this. Taku, Sabella, and eventually he'll come here for Nicky Jackson.
Yeah, Jackson involved early on in that move as well, and it is a stunning, stunning move. Every ball played, weighted perfectly. I just thought Jackson, he took it well. Could he have finished it? Well, it happened very, very quickly. And there's a free kick from Mansali that just goes over the crossbar. Doesn't test the goalkeeper, which is frustrating.
And here would be the chance that creates the goal. Jackson laying off, and Martinez just poking at it, and Pack caught off his line.
That's a brilliant finish. I mean, there's no way that can be a luck. You can see the goalkeeper off the line. Alex Martinez, he's chipped him. He's got the chip absolutely perfectly spot on. That is a brilliant finish and deserves to separate the two teams at halftime. And you can see Charlotte with 2 shots on target to Pittsburgh's 0. And that would be concerning for Bob Lilly. He'll be looking at that going on. He knows in his own mind that the goalkeeper, Brandon Miller, has not been tested at all. And he's going to be saying, guys, I want to see shots on target. I want to see crosses in the box. I want Brandon Miller to work in the second half. And that will be the mantra, I would guess, that Bob Lilly is busy giving his team at the moment.
And in terms of the passage and play, you didn't really see too many openings for Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Where can they find them? Where do you think in this second half they're going to start to create some chances?
Certainly crosses into the box. And they won a few free kicks, and they need to get into that sort of area around the Charlotte box, try and win either possession, get balls in, win free kicks. They've got enough big players who can finish off efforts. They haven't managed to do much in normal play, which is frustrating for Bob Lilly, but he has made 8 changes, so it's got to be fair to his players. But if you get the breakthrough by a good free kick, well, you take it, and that can lead to other goals. For Charlotte, as you see them just discussing what's going to happen, they need to get a second and try and wrap this game up. Get those 3 points that they've been battling to get in recent games. Lots of draws in their season, but they need a good run of wins now. And 2 wins, 2 draws in the last 4. I'm going to make it 3 wins now.
And also, when you break down the results individually, it's 2 wins at home, 2 draws away. That's generally the form guide that you want to see from your team over the course of a year.
Yeah, that'll get you into the top 3 or 4 places if you can do that. And certainly in the playoffs, if you're in the top 3 or 4, you'll be playing at home, so your home form counts.
And the referee is going to make sure things are kosher for the restart. And it'll be Enzo Martinez to get us going. His brother Alex had the moment of inspiration in that first half. As Charlotte Independence get us going, and Bob Lilly would want to see a response from his team. Certainly has the options available on the bench. The regulars in the team, Kevin Kerr, Steven Dos Santos, Christian Valesky, available to make the difference. At the moment, it was just a bit flat in that first half from Pittsburgh in the attack. Certainly heard plenty from Bob Lilly in the technical area. You wonder if he got his message across at halftime. Enzo Martinez. Floated ball towards Sabella, who can take it down. Valentin Sabella. Doing well to get turned, but that turned into more trouble as Uzu is over there. Does poke it off him very well.
I'm just guessing for Pittsburgh that if after 20 minutes or so they haven't got themselves really back into this match, then I reckon Bob Lilly will start to bring on some of those more regular first teamers. He's made a lot of changes, and he would have expected his team to have perhaps struggled. He wants to give them a little bit more time to see if some of these fringe players can work their way through and get control of this match. If they can't, then expect to see the likes of Maduro, Herrera, and 1 or 2 others.
Here's Forrest. Forrest trying to get turned. Martinez, though, doing very well to put himself between the player and the ball and winning it back for Charlotte. Now laid off there and continuing his run, Nicky Jackson. Recovery there from Van Keyesil.
Yeah, that would look sick.
Forbes.
I can barely see. I'm sure. Corey had a blast, dude. But at least the sun's down. I don't know how he did it with the sun up.
Back 3 shape.
He had his
Covered by Bob Lilly.
Fans,
5-2.
get your spine
There,
right.
Frankie now
Endless
trying to
Chiropractic and Wellness,
win that ball in the air.
Chiropractor for the Charlotte Independents.
Jackson doing well to get the better of Uzu, and now Nicky Jackson's on his way.
No
Waiting for an
support.
option. Yep.
No support. There's all on his own, and there's no one up there to help him, but still got possession.
There's a strike from Taku, and not a bad one as well, as there will be a corner as Taku's effort took a deflection on the way through.
It's a long way out to shoot. Be a small deflection, but it's going to be an incredible strike to beat Austin Pack from there. That's the problem being that when Nicky Jackson got the ball up front, there was just no one around for him to work with, and that needs to change for Charlotte. He needs a little bit of support there. He needs Enzo Martinez perhaps a little bit closer to him. Do a little 1-2.
And it will be Abdoulaye Mansali over this corner. There's the option short with Sabella. They're going to play it towards that near post. The header flicked on. Back post arriving for Jackson. Well done there by Hugh Roberts to win initially. It had gone out of play off that touch from Jackson. But not a bad delivery into the penalty area.
Good delivery, good header from Hugh Roberts, and you just wonder if someone could have sneaked in at the far post. You got to assume someone gets a touch near post, and wasn't to be the case. But a good set piece for Charlotte.
You hear all the time one of football colloquialisms that if you just always make back post runs, there are always goals on for you.
I can't read any number.
If you keep playing while others stop, there will be goals there.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to assume that things happen. You have to, as a goalkeeper, you assume that defenders make mistakes and you're ready to cover for them. And there at the back post, you're assuming that someone gets a touch at the near post. And the players who do that well are the ones who obviously score the majority of goals. They call it instinct, the striker's instinct, but it's really just assuming that things are going to happen, having that sort of football intelligence.
You also hear them sometimes sort of pejoratively referred to as poachers' goals.
Yes.
Well, that didn't really take skill. You're just a poacher. But at the same time, that takes real reading of the game.
Absolutely, absolutely. It takes reading of the game, and a lot of that is assuming certain things happen. And you want to know that, for example, assume the defender misses the ball and you're stood behind him as a striker. If you assume he misses it, when it comes to you, you're not shocked and surprised. You're almost ready and your mind's done the math and your foot's ready to strike it in the back of the net. That's what the good strikers do.
Taku doing well to divert with his eyes. Now Sabella coming in off that right-hand side, trying to poke it through, but keeps charging towards it. Kevon George puts in a strong tackle. We play on. Enzo Martinez whips it in and eyes for that back post, but eventually coming out of play for the goal kick.
Yeah, I think you saw Nicky Jackson making a run into the box, but it wasn't a good cross from Enzo. It was way over Nicky Jackson's head, and he was the only one in the box. It was a case of either hit him or it's going to go nowhere, and that's what the ball did. But it's, again, positive from Charlotte in that they're in Pittsburgh's half. They're trying to put pressure on and
way better than
trying to look for that second goal and get themselves well in the driving seat.
Get all the latest Charlotte Independence gear now at shopcharlotteindependence.com. As Noah Frankie will come forward for Pittsburgh Riverhounds. There's the option short here with Mertz. And laying it off for Forbes. And now Ryan James at the edge of the penalty area trying to put the cross in. Not really towards goal, more towards the edge. Unable to win there. Velarde. And now Nicky Jackson trying to get Charlotte going on the counter. But one back by Joe Greenspan. Formerly with Charlotte in USL. Was a best 11 player a year ago in 2018. 3 goals in 23 starts, but part of that tremendous defensive line for Pittsburgh. Best defensive teams in USL a year ago. On their way into the postseason. Now trying to get right back there again. Just a few too many draws. The opening 11 matches, 7 from 11. And struggling for goals, but they've certainly found it of late. Scoring 13 in their last 4, but doesn't really look like it tonight as Sabella did well to time his run to get in behind, but nods it back for Enzo Martinez, who slides in to win it back. Strong tackle. Mansally. Kevon George. The real distribution engine in the middle of the park for Charlotte on the night. Joel Johnson.
Charlotte doing what Coach Mike Jeffries wants them to do, which is play with possession, knocking the ball around and playing the way that they have always played in the past, except for the last 3 months under a different coach. And they seem very comfortable on it, Charlotte. If that's what they've been doing, then clearly the players are used to where they have to be, how they see each other, how they weight the passes. It's making it very difficult for Pittsburgh to get the ball, which is why I guess at some stage there's going to be a couple of changes for Pittsburgh. With all that talent on the bench and experience, you would think that Coach Bob Lilly will chuck 1 or 2 of them on sooner than later.
Congratulations, you're tonight's winner. Please make your way to the guest relations tent to claim your
Charlotte
prize.
Independence's next home match is against St. Louis FC next Saturday night, and seats are still available. Purchase your tickets now at charlotteindependence.com.
Congratulations again, Eric Daniker, tonight's winner of the Charlotte Independence
Roll out
prize
to
pack.
touch Mark Forrest in his first professional start on his first professional contract after 4 years at Lehigh. Not really had too much rub of the green tonight. Taken short there by Sabella. And now well done there by Hugh Roberts just to let it run out of play. Hugh Roberts last year with Pittsburgh Riverhounds actually scored in their playoff match against Bethlehem Steel. They eventually lost on penalties. Pittsburgh.
Talking of Pittsburgh, some of the subs that they can bring on if they need them. Stefan De Santos would be a good choice, perhaps. Christian Valesky, of course. Both goal scorers. Kevin Kerr, who's a wonderful crosser of a ball. They might need him to put the ball in for the likes of the big guys. So all sorts of options there for the coach to make some changes. And I would have thought they would have given his players a signal of 15 to 20 minutes to show him that they can do better in the second half, and if not, then he'll start lining up those substitutions.
Johnson and Enzo Martinez just trying to flick on rather than lay off there for Taku, who's right in front of him. Sabella. Johnson getting ahead to it. Does seem like those second balls right now are coming to Charlotte Independence. Rather not that they're coming to them, but they're winning them.
Absolutely. Which is why I think it needs a change for Pittsburgh. Freshen things up. They're just not getting the better of Charlotte. Charlotte's possession-based football is slowly beginning to strangle them. It needs some fresh blood to bring in some changes. I guess there's options for Charlotte to make changes as well. They have a couple of good options on the bench, and Jorge Herrera being one of those they can bring on. But right now, there's probably no need to. They seem to be extremely comfortable.
So Dominic Duro available on the bench, the Ghanaian. Already scored 6 times for Charlotte on the campaign. As Chena Uzu winning it back for Pittsburgh. Now trying to switch the play here. Banquezil. Laid off there by Velarde, doing very well to get his body in the way. Frankie now into the penalty area. Noah Frankie low through. It's a good cross in, but nobody there.
I just wonder if it was a good enough cross, because he had his head up, he could pick someone out and didn't manage to find anyone in the yellow shirts, having done so well there. Could his cross have been a little bit better, or were the strikers just not in good positions?
And now doing well to time his run. Nicky Jackson gets hacked down by Banquezil, but I guess he got enough of the ball in the judgment of the referee.
Oh, it didn't look like it to me. It looked like a foul. Even if you get the ball, if you get the player as well, it can still be deemed a foul. He's still on the ground, and you'd wonder if the players will kick the ball out. Now, yep, they're going to stop it.
referee's going to stop play. Just given how Jackson went down, it looked bad. Now, we'll see how much of the ball Van Keziel gets here.
Not much of it. I think that's a foul. No question in
hardly at all.
No question in my mind that even if he skimmed the ball, he gets the player. That's a free kick. But you know what? We have the advantage of slow motion replay, and that's what referees don't get. They get one chance to see it, and perhaps they just don't quite see it the right way, or maybe their vision's blocked for a second. But I'm sure if referee Demanchuk could see that again, he'd go, yep, that is a free kick. I missed that one.
And you wonder what the French central defender Van Keziel is thinking. Probably got away with one there.
Yep, absolutely. Nicky Jackson's not happy. He's muttering under his breath and shaking his head, because that was a bad hit. That's a painful one. And he's still mumbling in the background for the referee there.
And Jackson will put it back in play. Here is the aforementioned Thomas Van Keziel. Grew up in the lower leagues in French football, starting locally at Caen. As Frankie will send the right-footed delivery in and hits the back stanchion. And Brandon Miller, you have to say, is nearly gone a full hour without being tested.
Yeah, not been tested at all, and that's got to be of major concern to Pittsburgh Riverhounds and their coach, Bob Lilly. Which is why I'm sort of expecting at some stage for him to shuffle the pack somehow, just to not just bring some life in the team, but to get his point across that, guys, you're not doing what I need you to do, and I'm going to bring somebody else in to see if they can do it.
Austin Pack with a couple of turns on the ball, allowing Enzo Martinez to run himself off it. No, Frankie. Trying to slide it through towards Velarde, who's now away for Pittsburgh Riverhounds into the penalty area. Velarde sliding in for Forbes, and a bit too much on it. Will still come here for Robbie Mertz. That looked a good chance for Pittsburgh, but now Charlotte back in their defensive shape. Mertz again. And Kennardo Forbes will have a go. Well, he's wide of target.
He's a long way out there, all of 30 yards. Kennardo Forbes, he's a good striker of a ball, no question about that, but it's got to be one hell of a strike to score from there. But that was a better movement for Pittsburgh. Just before this, they were in the box. They were trying to break through that defense, and for a moment we thought maybe they would. But that will please their coach a lot more, that they have been more positive. As yet, still, Brandon Miller, nothing much to do.
Hitting it long there for Nicky Jackson to try and win in the air. Well, Afram Taku lofting it towards Jackson. Lovely flick there for Martinez, who returns the favor. Thought for a moment that Jackson had drifted offside, and I think that's why he stomped his run. You're hearing word from the ground that there will be a double change on offer for Bob Lilly.
Yeah, doesn't surprise me. I think it's been due for a few minutes, and as I said, I think he gave his team 15 minutes to show him that they could get back at Charlotte. It hasn't happened, and he needs that fresh blood to liven things up. Only question is, who's he going to bring on? Will it be the likes of Dos Santos and Valesky or Kevin Kerr? I think those are the three most likely players, two from those three perhaps.
We await the full confirmation of those changes. Mensali gets it back from George.
The men's national team take on Team Mexico in the Gold Cup final tonight.
And
kickoff
receiving word
at
that will
9
be
p.m.
Toby Adewole and Steven Dos Santos that will come on. Uzu and Forrest will make way once they can be fully confirmed. Here are Uzu's probably final touches on the ball for Mertz. And Van Keziel played straight towards Kevon George, who's really read the game rather quite well. And is very well there to flick it off of Van Keziel. Here Here's the French defender again. Regular feature for Bob Lilly since he's taken charge of the team. Starting now 49 matches in the 2 seasons. As Frankie going towards that byline. A tug of the shirt there from Steven Tico. And not enough to warrant a bit of discipline there from our matchday referee, as we'll now have the confirmation of the changes. Adewole for Uzu and Dos Santos for Forrest.
Dos Santos I get. I think that makes a lot of sense. Bringing in a striker. We needed something fresh up front from a Pittsburgh point of view. Adewole is an interesting one. Assuming there's no injury, maybe they just need a central defender who can push up from the back. Maybe a little bit of explanation from the coach as to why the big Nigerian's been taken off.
And for Mark Forrest, just really didn't have too many touches on the ball. And Bob Lilly gonna have a few more words for him, just to sort of signal what he might have been able to do better. As Pittsburgh Riverhounds continue to seek out that response. Charlotte Independence have had no problem seeing out these first 18 minutes of the second half. Probably like a second, though, just to add some cushion. They've certainly been very professional about this second half job since coming out of the interval, as Sabella lays it off for Johnson. Bit dangerous, but Johnson's got the experience to handle that. Now Sabella sliding in strongly to win it off of Bernardo Forbes, and plays it off him for the throw.
Yeah, good commitment from the young 19-year-old Sabella there, getting stuck in. Be careful with those sliding tackles these days, but he got that 100% right. That's the sort of commitment that Charlotte will be looking for in this last sort of 25 minutes or so, as they try and either hang on to the 1-0 or even extend it.
Substitute Adewole. 23-year-old from Ashton, Maryland. Scored the first goal of this season against Swope Park Rangers for Pittsburgh. It will be a throw-in for Charlotte and Joel Johnson. The other forward, Nico Brett, has also been starved of service. He's barely had a touch of the ball leading the line for Pittsburgh, as Forbes tried to slide it around Alex Martinez there, but actually it came off him last. And now sprinting back to his position. And now well won there by Enzo Martinez, taken off of Velarde. Here's Enzo Martinez going all the way! And Martinez appealing that Pack had gotten something on it, but instead it's the chance going begging. And a decent strike there from Enzo Martinez.
It certainly was, and his brother got the goal in the first half. He was probably trying to make it a second and make it a 1-2 for the two brothers. Wasn't too far away. And again, that occasional high press from Charlotte has turned over the ball, and that time it was in a dangerous area and just wide from Enzo Martinez there. A warning to Pittsburgh that Charlotte remain a danger on the counter-attack. Nico Brett just putting his hands together, saying I could do with a slightly better ball to run onto there. But now he's got Dos Santos with him, so there's two targets up front, two big boys for the for the Pittsburgh midfield to aim for, of course, and for Charlotte to worry about.
Hit long towards Nicky Jackson, who can't quite settle it down. Charlotte, I think, can await counter-attacking opportunities, given that really just had one in there from Martinez, but solidly as they're playing in midfield, that's a late whistle there from matchday referee Sergei Demenchuk, as Abduli Mansali giving away the free kick, but it seemed like those opportunities on the counter are there.
They certainly are for Charlotte, because Pittsburgh have to start pushing forward more and more. Let's have a look. Was anything in this Mansali one? Actually, there's an elbow in the face, to be fair. certainly is, on Noah Frankie.
With the support of sports medicine professionals,
Actually thought he caught him on the boot there. The late tackle.
And there's two reasons for the referee to give a free kick then.
It is always displeasing to fans when those decisions come late, though. This will be another late award of a free kick as Nicky Jackson tackled in the center of midfield.
I think in those circumstances, sometimes the ref plays advantage. He plays advantage, and when the advantage doesn't happen, then he'll pull them back.
As Nicky Jackson earning the free kick for Charlotte, and it will be a double change for Charlotte as well, as Dominic Orduro and Jorge Herrera will come on. That's 10 goals on the season coming onto the field in one double change.
The 16th minute on number 2, Adewale.
Two very, very good players coming on for Charlotte, which makes Pittsburgh's job even more difficult now.
And in that as well, we have a yellow card against Toby Adewale for the tackle on Jackson. So he is the first name taken by our matchday referee. The pressure waved on there by manager Lilly. Joel Johnson. Mansally. Kevon George. Fans, you can get updates and alerts all year long by following your club on ESPN.com. Search for Charlotte Independence or Pittsburgh Riverhounds, and then click the follow button to keep up with the latest news and scores. Let's get reminders on your team's next matches. Go to ESPN.com or the ESPN app. Steven Dos Santos. Ryan James. He just took it out of play.
Right in front of his manager.
Charlotte substitutions in the 70th minute.
Lilly will remind him of that a few times.
And here are the confirmation of the changes. Dominic Orduro is on for Valentin Sabella, who finishes his first start after 70 minutes.
Also Charlotte substitution in the 70th minute.
And it will be Nicky Jackson who will make way for Herrera. It will be
stepping onto the pitch, number 10,
Herrera and Martinez leading the line. And Mike Jeffries pleased with the performance in his number 9 on the night. Does have a glorious chance in the first half.
Yep.
But does not result in the goal. In the end, putting in the hard yards, taking a few tackles as well. Now Mansally. Greenspan. And Pittsburgh just looking for answers right now in the attack. They have not really been producing shots on target.
Sit in behind in front of your center back. Get higher.
Frankie.
Thomas, sit in there. Ryan James should get the ball here.
Here's Velarde laying it off.
Good pressure from Charlotte there. Look at them hunting down Pittsburgh players when they have the ball, making it difficult. Now they're backing off. They say you can have it in your half. Once you come into our half, we're going to start defending.
Cut out there by Tico at the back. Now finding himself in space was Nico Brett, but just couldn't settle the touchdown. And now Brandon Miller will just allow the Pittsburgh players to make him come to him.
Well, 71st minute, and as yet, Brandon Miller with not one single shot to save. And that really, from a Pittsburgh point of view, sums it up. All the nice play doesn't count for anything if you can't test the opposition goalkeeper. And
No.
Bob Lilly will be frustrated by that.
Nearly had a chance there as Hugh Roberts couldn't get it the first time, but just whack it away the second. long time in the USL with Pittsburgh, Richmond, Bethlehem since 2014. Now partnering with Stephen Ticot for a majority of the matches this year for Charlotte Independence. James is really being pressured off it. As you said, Gary, a moment to breathe for these Pittsburgh players on the ball.
Yep, and then especially you bring on Dominic Duro and Jorge Herrera, and you've got two fresh players, two very good players to make life more difficult on the counter-attack. So you've got to be careful how many players you throw forward.
Well done there by Roberts to deal at the back foot. And Kayazil coming forward. Now here's Dominic Duro, who will flash a bit of his pace here. Running forward and getting the better of Adewole. Oduro just about losing out. Still trying to win the ball back. And Adewole sending it forward. Velarde. Losing out there, Brett. Mertz winning the header. As Dominic Oduro brings so much MLS experience to this field. 346 appearances in our top domestic league.
Wow.
And also has the distinction of being the player that has been traded the most times. He was traded 6 times between teams. He is a well-traveled player in our domestic game. His first season in the USL Championship with Charlotte Independence.
I bet he wishes it was the European system where every time you got traded, you got a big signing on salary. Not sure if it's the same here in the States. I doubt it. But certainly players who move a lot in Europe, they make big money every time they move.
Nice 1-2 there. But Oduro didn't get the return ball he wanted. And we'll have a hydration break as the hot temperatures persist here at the Sportsplex at Matthews. After 74 minutes, it remains Charlotte Independence 1, Pittsburgh Riverhounds 0. Alex Martinez is, I would call it a random chip. What would you call it? Is it a moment of inspiration? Is it just sort of a thing that comes to you in the pattern of play and then he goes for the chip of the goalkeeper?
I think so. I think he saw the keeper off his line and the ball just got laid back to him, and as he was falling, he decided, well, I don't have many other options, no one around me to play to and who's free, and I'm falling over, so why don't I just have a chip at goal? And what a perfect chip it was. Absolutely brilliant finish. Of course, Jackson had a chance in the first 10 minutes, which when I saw it the second time, he was running onto it very quick. It was difficult for him. But I think this is the goal, the interplay. Coming to get set up now there, and as he's sort of leaning to one side, he makes the chip, and it's a really good finish. He's under pressure. He just chips the keeper. It really is, but that has got to go into the goal of the week competition, I think. It might even make it as a goal of the month. It's that good a finish.
It almost requires a second look at it, though, because the first time you look at it, you go, that was odd.
Yes.
How did that go in? What happened? And then you really see it, and it's Alex Martinez catching Austin Pack out. As you have a look here at the change for Pittsburgh. The final throw of the dice here for Bob Lilly, as it will be Velarde who will come off, Anthony Velarde. And it will be Kevin Kerr who will come on.
Well, we thought we'd see Kerr at some stage because of his excellent passing and crossing ability. And he's got 4 goals himself, so this is the final throw of the dice for the coach. I think he knew when he made all these changes, he knew it was going to be a potentially tough afternoon. And he's had to throw on his big players now to see if they can make the difference here.
And it is Kerr who will come on, the Englishman, in his 7th season with Pittsburgh. For multiple managers. As Mertz will take down, as we are continuing play, but this is the only camera we will have because there is some lightning in the area. We'll continue play, but for the safety of our cameramen, They've been brought down from the risers that they shoot the match on. So this is how we will watch the remaining 15 minutes of this one.
Well, it's a different angle, and it shows you how quickly the ball moves from this angle. This is the coach's angle, and you get to see the pace and speed of the ball and the tackling and the sort of bumping that goes on. So you get a real close-up view of the coach as well, probably shouting out the orders, and all those in the Pittsburgh on the left-hand side of the pitch, including the likes of Ryan James, are going to get an earful, have been getting an earful all second half. But it's a coach with passion. Nothing wrong with that with Bob Lilly. I'm laughing about it because as an ex-player, you've been shouted at that many times, you know what it's like. But you love a coach who's passionate like Bob Lilly, who gives you the advice, who helps you along, who wants the best for you. So it's just every once in a while, as I said before, you get blamed for things that aren't your fault simply because you happen to be the closest to the coach.
Easy throw in there from Ryan James. Now slide it across. Here's Forbes, allowing it to run and having a strike. Took a deflection, and now Miller is going to allow for the ball to be caught.
Well, again, not one shot on target yet.
Does that count?
For Pittsburgh Riverhounds? Nope, that's not a shot. That's up in the air, and I mean, the keeper really didn't have to do anything to collect that. So I'm looking at shots where the keeper has to really be, you know, on his toes.
I'm
so
saying
far, nothing.
I'm saying in the quite literal sense, is that a shot on target?
Yeah, if you really want to include it, be my guest. But I guess from a coaching, the coaches will have their own shots on target, which basically is, have you made the goalkeeper work? Have you tested him? Have you given him a little moment to concern himself with? And so far, Brandon Miller hasn't had one of those. And that is the real test in my mind as to how your team has done. And so for Bob Lilly, that's going to have a lot more discussion. If this ends up 1-0, he will sit down with his players, and that will be the major source of discussion. How did we not test the keeper? What do we do different to test the keeper? Because that's the ultimate part of football.
Jorge Herrera was cut offside there. We resume play. We can tell you can tune into the ESPN3 Game of the Week Friday night edition of Wednesday Night Soccer when Tacoma Defiance invades the fortress that is Zions Bank Stadium to try and slow down a surging Real Monarch side. It's Wednesday Night Soccer on a Friday. See it all July the 12th on ESPN3. One back in midfield by Mansali. We'll spray it out. Well read there by Ryan James, who nods it back for Austin Pack. 10 minutes to play. At the moment, Charlotte cruising with their 1-0 lead, but this can change very quickly as there's a whistle away from the ball. And we will have a weather delay after the foul off the ball. Matchday referee Sergei Demanchuk is going to stop play after 80 minutes. We'll have a lightning delay at the moment that usually means a 30-minute break until we've had full clearance of lightning, but the radar will be checking that could potentially persist even longer. And so Charlotte leads after the 80 minutes by 1-0 over Pittsburgh Riverhounds. We'll obviously have any updates as they become available. Of course, do follow the teams on social media as well for the very latest updates. Chris Whittingham, Gary Bailey here as Charlotte Independence lead after 80 minutes. We go to the lightning break right now.
All players will be required.
Live pictures from the Sportsplex at Matthews. Some of those that have stuck around through our lightning delay. We are in the 80th minute. It is Charlotte Independence 1, Pittsburgh Riverhounds 0. After nearing on 80 minutes of play, Chris Whittingham, Gary Bailey sticking with you through this lightning delay. There was not a great deal of inclement weather in the area, but of course, when the radar goes off, we will stop play. And obviously want to make sure our cameramen take heed in case any danger approaches the stadium. But we have about 10 minutes to go, and that could very much change the dynamic of this match. It's 1-0, and there was a pretty significant stoppage in play. Obviously, it sort of allows for more time to talk to the teams, but how do you think it might affect these final 10 minutes?
Well, I think it's good news for Pittsburgh because they were going nowhere. They couldn't get a breakthrough. They brought Dos Santos on to see what he could do up front, and they were just struggling to put anything together. Not one single proper save for Brandon Miller in that entire 80 minutes. So if you're Bob Lilly, you've gone, great, let me get these players in a locker room again, and let's push and shove and have a go at them, wind them up, get them out on the pitch, warm them up. Just try and get a different approach. And as a player, you sometimes take these situations and use them to your advantage. You feel it's almost like a restart, and you've got 10 minutes in which to start afresh. And I think for Charlotte, not good news, because you also know that you can get a different Pittsburgh for the last 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm. And you also might have lost your sharpness. Whatever it is you were doing, it's difficult to maintain when you're not moving.
100%. So it's more concerning for Charlotte. They've got more to lose from this situation, which is why, again, if you're Mike Jeffries, you let them know that. You say, hey, don't sit back for 10 minutes. You're going to come out strong. They're going to come at you. You've got to be on top of your game here. Don't throw it all away in the last 10 minutes. So different approach from the two managers, and let's see how it all pans out.
79 minutes, 50 seconds on the clock. And it is a free kick to Charlotte Independence, who wear the blue, going from left to right for these final 10 minutes plus stoppage time. And Pittsburgh Riverhounds going from right to left in the black and yellow. It'll be Joel Johnson who will get us going. Thank you for sticking with us. Charlotte Independence looking for the 3 points. Third win in 5. After just one win from their first 13 on the campaign.
Yep, that'll be delightful news for Mike Jeffries, because since he took over, it would be, as you say, 3 wins, 2 draws. Those are the 5 games he's been in charge since previous coach John McGuinness left. So what a good result that will be for Mike Jeffries, if it remains that way. And for those who have stayed with us, it's the most exciting part of the game, because this is where it all comes down to it. 10 minutes where Pittsburgh have got to go at Charlotte, and Charlotte have got to defend and try and counter. Everything's going to happen, we hope, in the next 10 minutes.
As Nico Brett tried to threaten in behind. Well dealt with there by Hugh Roberts. Just to reset the teams for you, Austin Pack is in goal for Pittsburgh. Is now charging on is Ryan James to the feet of Nico Brett. And now Kennardo Forbes. And out to this right-hand side. There's Noah Frankie. Overlapping run is on. Charging through the penalty area. Brett was threatening, but the offside flag has gone up for that overlapping run, as it looked like Abdulli Mansali went crashing into the advertising hoarding in behind that goal. But it is a free kick for Charlotte on account of the offside. So for Pittsburgh, Austin Pack in goal, Thomas Van Keyazeel, Joe Greenspan, and Toby Adewole, the back 3 after Uchenna Uzu came off. Midfield 5 of Noah Frankie, Kevin Kerr, Kennardo Forbes, Robbie Mertz, and Ryan James, with Steven Dos Santos and Nico Brett leading the line as Abdulli Mansali has gone down. The Gambian, shortly after the break. There is still one more change available to Mike Jeffries and Charlotte Independence. You have a look at the Charlotte manager there. Brandon Miller in goal, Joel Johnson, Hugh Roberts, Stephen Tico, and Abdulli Mansali, the back 4. Midfield 4 of Alex Martinez, Afrin Taku, Kevon George, and Dominic Oduro, who's come on for Valentin Sabella. Jorge Herrera has come on for Nicky Jackson, and Enzo Martinez up top for Charlotte.
Yeah, some exciting players been brought on both sides. Herrera and Oduro bring so much, of course, for Charlotte. But on the other side, Kevin Kerr might be able to put some good ball in there for Dos Santos. So which manager will prevail with the changes and which club will walk away with the points is still very much in the balance here. No reason why Pittsburgh shouldn't get at least a point out of this. And having said that, no reason why Charlotte shouldn't go on to win it.
Now getting turned is the substitute Kerr. Approaching the penalty area, goes outside of the boot, and Brandon Miller was hoping that it came to him as there was a threatening run that came in off the softly delivered ball in the penalty area, and Miller able to claim here.
It didn't quite come off the way that Kerr wanted it to, and the goalkeeper reading it, and he still hasn't made a save. I'm not including it as a save. So as of this point, Brandon Miller hasn't had one save to test him at all in 82 odd minutes from Pittsburgh. But the game is over 90 plus any extra time, and Pittsburgh won't care if they test him out in the last 2 minutes and score twice.
It's Robbie Mertz who's making the run through the penalty area there. As it's taken down by Joel Johnson. And you do see Charlotte trying to keep possession. It's a good ball to switch the play out to Mensali. And now Alex Martinez. And George, as Pittsburgh going to try and send numbers towards the ball. First quality like that from Taku. Johnson. Good ball to keep the ball there. Johnson getting turned. And a free kick as Robbie Mertz having to give away there.
This is managing the end of the game for Charlotte. Can you wind the clock down, keep possession, win free kicks, and do everything to make sure you win and keep your score at 1-0. And of course, for Pittsburgh, it's exactly the opposite. Get hold of the ball, try and get into the Charlotte half and try and get that equalizer. So interesting tactics, very explicitly employed at this time of the match. It's very easy to see what both team is trying to do, and the scoreline is what predicts what they're going to do.
Nico Brett winning the ball, but it's a backwards header from Forbes, sending it on its way Greenspan. Charlotte again getting a foot to it. I wonder what the tactics will be here. You see the better keeping of possession previously, as there is a high boot there that allows the free kick for Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Certainly taking their time to give the ball back as well as Charlotte.
It's all part of running the clock down. You do just what you can without getting booked by the referee. That's the professional side of the game.
Might there have been a 30-minute session on time wasting in the lightning delay. Adewale. Nkayazil. Forbes is going to hit the ball route one into the penalty area. Trying to win Dos Santos. Or rather, Greenspan, who's come forward from the central defense position. And a free kick for Charlotte. Greenspan's going to retreat. Thought for a moment that Bob Lilly elected to send his central defender up.
Well, it's that time of the match where you're going to have to send the big boys up. If you get any free kicks anywhere in the pitch, you may as well have a go. That man in goal is Brandon Miller, yet to make a save. And you can enjoy the niceties of football and the good passing, but at some point you just got to get the ball into the opponent's box, and that normally happens sort of 5 minutes to go, roundabout now that you start to change your tactics and just go what they say, route one. Just get the ball into the opponent's half and try and smash and grab something.
Dominic Oduro running onto it. Now it's a chance to approach the penalty area. Will retreat. Lay it off here for Taku. Trying to dink it over the top, and just nobody there.
You can see Austin Pack saying, get up, get up, get up. And if he's going to go long, he's tempted to. I think he will. Or didn't quite connect the ball well.
There's nobody there. And forced to give away the free kick is Kevin Kerr.
Yeah, Austin Pack wanted to knock the ball down the pitch. He somehow sort of sliced his kick. And they ended up in the middle of the park. But the idea was to get it down the other end. And Charlotte have done well. They've won a free kick, and they're just taking their time. Yeah. Push everybody up, do what they have to do. Frustrating for your opponents, such as Pittsburgh, when you're in this situation where you want to get on the ball and the team you're trying to beat is just taking their time with free kicks and can wind you up, but you just got to keep cool.
Taken off the chest there by Oduro. Now taking an extra touch. Might have done better there to slide in Herrera. So it comes from Martinez. Just whacking it forward, Tico. It will be a throw in for Charlotte as the judge Ryan James got something on it.
Again, perfect for Charlotte. Keeping possession, they're staying in Pittsburgh with half of the pitch. That's exactly what they have to do.
Independent substitution.
And it will be Aaron Mond who will come on for Charlotte for his 13th appearance of the year. Enzo Martinez will make way. And his defender for attacker, so sort of shows the intent of Mike Jeffries here. Martinez trotting off. And there is Martinez making way after an honest shift. Had some real spells of quality. And now Aaron Mond will just try and see out these final few minutes for Charlotte Independence, looking for a third victory in 5. Trying to save their season, really. When you start with 1 win from 13, it's near on impossible to eventually climb back up the table, but Charlotte trying to do so.
Ball's been moved. The referee's going to push it back to where it should have been. Well, the way Charlotte are playing, yes, it has been a bad start, but they're recovering really well, and if they keep this up, they will be in the playoffs, no question about that. And you would think with coach Mike Jeffries back in charge that this quality of football will continue. So happy days if you're a Charlotte Independence fan.
Presuming they can hang on here in these final minute plus. Now Forbes get the better of that second ball. Cross came into the penalty area. As Canardo Forbes back on it. And I think Bob Lilly wants Nico Brett to get into the penalty area. He's out wide on that right-hand side at the moment. Kerr will loft it in. Cut out there in the center of the park. Now Dominic Oduro trying to charge Charlotte away. We're playing it up. He's onside. Now we await the decision from the 4th official for stoppage time. Taku taking off it. Nico Brett trying to play it forward and just nobody there. Joel Johnson sending it forward, and there will be a minimum of 4 minutes to be added on at the end of this match.
A minimum of 4
The clock
minutes.
is ticking for Pittsburgh, not much time left, and they need to get the ball in the opposition half. I just wonder if Bob Lilly after this will think maybe 8 changes was a little bit too much. Step too far for his team that have been in great form, 4 wins on the trot. It's one thing making 3 or 4 changes, but 8 takes a lot of getting used to, and of course you're pulling out a lot of regular players and first teamers. It's almost a second string side, so you know, credit to him for being brave enough to make those changes. But I think the cost is the fact that they're going to lose this match because they really couldn't threaten Charlotte, and at this point we still haven't had a save for Brandon Miller. Yes, there's the frustration for Bob Lilly. But at the end of the day, he's got to acknowledge that if his team cannot make the opposition goalkeeper make 1 save in the entire match, they're just not good enough. And that's, I guess, the honest truth of Pittsburgh Riverhounds today.
I think Bob Lilly was asking there for more extra time on account of the fact that there was a hydration break in the second half on top of the 6 substitutions. So wants a bit more, and of course that is his job to ask for more, but
sure.
It does seem to be sand falling through the hourglass for Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Charlotte has professionally handled the job. Tackle comes in from Alex Martinez. Will be Austin Pack to just try and get on with it.
And if there is a goal to win this match, if there only is the 1 goal, Alex Martinez's goal is just an unbelievable strike. It wasn't lucky that at first we thought it might have been a deflection. He picked out the goalkeeper, Austin Pack, slightly off his line. There's not even a goalkeeping error that he's off his line. It's just, I guess, a normal position to be in. Some chirping going on.
Wow, chirping earns, I believe, Kevin Kerr a yellow card.
Yeah, well, Fair enough to the referee. It's frustration for Kerr, but there's rules. But just saying, for Alex Martinez, if there's a goal that's going to win a game, what a wonderful goal to take it. And I'm sure when the match is over, he's going to be so chuffed with himself, Alex Martinez. It's, you know, a good goal like that gets lost in a 2-2 draw or a 3-2 win, but it's just 1-0, and you can quite proudly sit in that locker room and say, guys, it was my great goal that won us the match. I don't think anyone's going to argue with him.
Taken short for Mertz. Nico Brett taking off it. And now Herrera again. And Martinez. No real options, and the tackle came in from Mertz.
Look at Martinez. Look how well he's run to close down. He's put in a real shift.
After playing 96 minutes, you've had the lightning delay and still putting in the hard yards.
Well, he's got something to protect. He's winning goal.
Of course, as the header gets flicked into the penalty area, danger on there as staying forward is Adewole. And going down, and it will be a free kick on that far side. A heavy challenge coming in there from the substitute Mond.
That's the only thing that Charlotte haven't done right in this entire closing 10 minutes. Don't give away free kicks on the edge of your box. It's exactly what Pittsburgh were playing for. And they've managed this clock. They've wound this clock down perfectly until now. So, last chance saloon then for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
Free kick for Kenardo Forbes. Whipped in, Herrera away. And will come here for James and poked away. And now Dominic Oduro to try and get in behind. Austin Pack off his line. Can Charlotte catch him out? Sent forward, Jorge Herrera. And reading the game very well, Robbie Mertz. And there is the full-time whistle. Charlotte Independents have done enough. Alex Martinez's first half, tremendous chip of the goalkeeper. Enough to give Charlotte Independents the 1-0 victory over Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
Yep, and they certainly deserve it. The goal they scored, Jackson had a chance in the first 10 minutes. Those are only two real high points of the match, and they didn't get Brandon Miller any work to do at Pittsburgh, so that is why they have a 0 to their name. Charlotte Independents deserving winners today.
And it finishes Charlotte Independents 1, Pittsburgh Riverhounds 0. Full-time reaction when we return.
Thanks. It's like a smart thing. What's the weather?
Sunny. Perfect chicken eating weather.
How'd you get in here?
It's time for chicken.
What's the traffic like?
Rerouting you to chicken.
Okay.
Hey, Calzo, order pizza.
Ordering chicken.
No, pizza.
Chicken.
Okay, chicken it is.
Chick-fil-A nuggets make dinner delightful.
Now that's smart.
These are the hands of Novant Health. The hands saving lives. Taking control when it matters most. These are the hands advancing care. They're skillful, precise, and compassionate.
It's gonna be okay from here.
They're the hands giving you strength. Those same hands delivering specialized care also take the time to hold yours. And they'll be waving goodbye as you walk out of our doors and back to your life. These are the hands of Novant Health. The hands making healthcare remarkable.
The Wells Fargo save of the game incoming after Charlotte Independents win by a 0 over Pittsburgh Riverhounds, presented by Wells Fargo, proud sponsor of Charlotte Independents. And here is the only save of this second half, and it's a chip towards goal from Kevin Kerr. And there was a threatening run there from Mertz.
There was a little bit of a threatening run. Other than that, Brandon Miller with nothing to do in the entire game, which is why Pittsburgh Riverhounds, in all honesty, don't deserve anything from this if you can't make the opposing goalkeeper work. And well done to Charlotte Independence. Wonderful goal from that man there, Martinez. What a fantastic strike that was.
Now let's get to it. Full-time highlights on the way, as here is, first off, a great chance created from Charlotte Independence. Lovely interchange. Nikki Jackson, Sabella, returning for Jackson, and Austin Pack there to deny.
Yeah, it's a wonderful passing movement. As it comes to Jackson, his first touch puts him in position. He's running very hard. He hits it hard. Difficult for him to direct that. This is a free kick from Mansali, just goes over the crossbar. That early chance for Jackson was a really good one, but they got the breakthrough from Alex Martinez. Now, we had a look at this. He gets set up there, and as he's stretching, he chips the goalkeeper. He means to do it. This isn't a lucky shot. Have a look. It comes to him, and there he just gets under it, chips it up, and nothing that Austin Pack can do about that. That is a brilliant strike.
And it would put Charlotte 1-0 to the good. A few more chances here on the back post. Nikki Jackson trying to get something on it off the near post flick. Jackson unable to steer anything on target. Here would be Canardo Forbes just trying to test the keeper. Not much to do in the end for the Charlotte netminder. And that represents the best chance. 0 shots on target, wow. Gary.
Well, that sums it all up. I said it a few times. If you can't make the goalkeeper work, you don't deserve to walk away with anything. Charlotte Independence, 2 shots on target. One of them a goal, one very well saved by Brandon Miller. By Austin Pack from Jackson.
Yes.
That's what it was. It's been a long night.
We've had the lightning delay, and in the end, Charlotte Independence with their 3rd win in 5.
Wow.
Mike Jeffries' men looking to get back to winning ways and save their season. They are 1-0 victors on the night over Pittsburgh Riverhounds. For our tremendous USL crew and my broadcast partner, Gary Bailey, my name is Chris Whittingham signing off. Full-time score, Charlotte 1, Pittsburgh 0.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.